Greetings, Benjamin J. from BENZTRAINZ with another in the series. Well, when I was out in the garage digging for that phone that I put on the wall, I found this old power supply. I picked this up at a yard sale years ago for a couple of dollars. It's an old Radio Shack regulated 12-volt power supply. Someone wrote on it, 1491, puts out 14.2 volts on RS motor, 2.2 volts too much. I have no idea what that means. A standard 12-volt charger actually puts out 14 volts. That's the whole idea. Anyway, this thing works. Well, if I turn the power on, it does anyway, as you see. So it's a 12-volt power supply, but I don't have any way to regulate it. So I thought I could just connect it to the battery controller that I was using. So on the back of this, there are, of course, two screws, positive and negative. So I figured I'd do a quick video. We'll hook this thing up and see how it runs the Lionel 2025. So positive goes there, negative goes there. Make sure they don't touch. Power is on. Let me pull the camera off the tripod. And we will put this on the third rail. That's the 2025 rail. All right, I think that is on there good enough. All right, let's see what happens. Haha. So as you see, this power supply is working absolutely perfectly, running through that 12-volt controller. That is running just absolutely splendidly. And I just barely have this thing cracked open. Let's speed it up, see how fast it will go. So obviously plenty of power. Turn it down before it derails. So in any case, the Lionel 2025 running on a 12-volt power supply through the 12-volt controller. So this is running just absolutely splendidly. Nice thing about DC, of course, is that it gives you a really, really smooth operation. And you can slow these things way, way down. Much lower than you can actually control them on AC, as you see. And you can get this down to a literal crawl on DC. That's about as slow as it will go. I'm sitting here playing with the speed control, of course. But as you see, this works. So a 12-volt power supply. Like I said, I picked this up at in California at a yard sale, if I remember right. 14.2 volts total output. Has a circuit breaker in it. And it is running. Now this locomotive only pulls 0.9 amps, so it's less than 1 amp. And as you see, it's running just absolutely splendidly. So this 12-volt power supply, as you see, it's been out in the garage for at least 5 years. Didn't even know if it would work. But as you see, it's working quite well. So just running it through the 12-volt controller, straight to the track. So this actually works really, really well. Okay, let's shut this one down. And we'll move the lock on to the outside rail. This is the 8200, I believe. All right, let's see how it runs this. As you see, so anyway, this controller will either work attached to a battery or to a 12-volt power supply, as you see. And this is running just absolutely perfectly. Plenty of power, no doubt about that. that's running actually quite well. Anyway, I just want to do a quick video on this. The battery controller connected to a 12 volt power supply from Radio Shack. And the last date on it is 1991, so this is an old controller. As you see, converts 120 volts AC to 12 volts DC. So, puts out 14.2 volts, and as the guy wrote on here, 2.2 volts too much. So, I guess he wanted a 12 volt controller, but most 12 volt controllers put out 14 volts. Anyway, I just wanted to do a quick video on this. It works, it's simple, and it was free. It's been sitting out in the garage for 5 years, and as you see, it looks virtually new. So I just want to do a quick video on this. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.